The Kanban method doesn't work for project planning. There is no commitment in Kanban. You have to split your items into even pieces to make this work. They're all Kanban myths, and they are detrimental to understanding the effectiveness of the Kanban method and how it actually works. Today, we'll look at the 5 most common Kanban myths and bust them open. Myth number 1. Kanban is just a word. Often when I ask teams whether or not they're aware of the concept of Kanban, the straightforward answer I receive is that Kanban is a way to visualize the work on a board. Even though visualizing work is one of the main Kanban practices, it's just a tiny part of what the method actually promotes. Before we continue, let's take a step back. What actually is the Kanban method? It's a method that enables you to manage the flow of work effectively. To consider yourself a Kanban practitioner, the absolute minimum that you need to be doing is having a WIP limited pool system in place. In fact, I'll take this even further. If a board doesn't have WIP limits, it shouldn't be called a Kanban board. Myth number 2. Kanban is only suitable for support and maintenance work. Many teams believe that Kanban is only applicable when work is popping up unexpectedly, and so it's not suitable for product or project development that requires additional planning activities. This is one of the biggest Kanban myths out there. In fact, the very first implementation of the Kanban method at Corbis in 2007 has been applied for a very complex product development work. Later on, it's been used for planning a $10 million ERP project. Kanban doesn't define your process. It sits on top of it and exposes the management practices that enable you to improve that same existing process. Therefore, as long as you have a process and there is intangible work moving through that process, Kanban has the potential to help you tremendously. Myth number 3. Kanban and Scrum are mutually exclusive. Another big misconception. In fact, Kanban and Scrum greatly complement each other. Kanban and Scrum are not mutually exclusive. Both Kanban and Scrum are designed to help teams build better products and services with fewer obstacles along the way. However, a lot of product teams still question whether they should use either Kanban or Scrum in order to deliver outstanding value to their customers. But in reality, you don't need to choose between the two. Rather, you should discover which practices work best for your team and flex the system accordingly. And by flexing, I mean using Kanban and Scrum together in order to plan, track, and manage your work more efficiently so that you can release better products faster. This strategy is rapidly becoming the norm with many teams who have taken advantage of the fact that Kanban and Scrum go hand in hand with each other. Myth number 4. There is no commitment in Kanban. This is probably one of the most common Kanban myths that I come across. The fact that in Kanban, teams don't spend time and effort estimating their work in hours, story points, or any other relative complexity measurement doesn't mean that there is no commitment in Kanban. On the contrary, the Kanban method allows teams to make probabilistic forecasts using their past performance data to provide reliable delivery commitments. Kanban teams adopt practices that enable them to improve the predictability of their workflows and make accurate, data-driven decisions. The forecasting method enables you to move the focus from "when will this be done?" to "how much risk are you willing to take?" Always remember, the goal behind predicting your delivery times is to manage risks effectively and meet your customers' expectations. That's what this activity is all about. Myth number 5. Kanban requires all work items to be of the same size. I've been thinking about how this Kanban myth actually came to be. And I believe that it is rooted in the fact that in Kanban, we use throughput to run Monte Carlo simulations and determine the end dates of our projects or decide how much work to commit to in our next releases. When we define throughput, we refer to the number of completed work items for a period of time, regardless of their nature, size, or complexity. So people assume that those tickets need to be of the same size to make this work. You don't have to split your items into even pieces in order to come up with an accurate delivery forecast. Forecasts don't produce a single certain delivery date. They come with a range of outcomes and the probabilities of achieving each of them. From there, it's up to you to decide what level of confidence you'd like to manage, and this approach certainly doesn't depend on the size of the work.